Hello there, Pisces. Didichi here, and it's July 2020. You know, the secret of happiness, and that's shown by your fourth house here and Mercury, which rules it, is doing what you love, being passionate about what you do, and not for the sake of money, which we see here as part of the mix this month because Mars has now recently entered into the finance sector, Aries, for you. And you'll notice here the planet of self-satisfaction or happiness, Mercury, is retrograde here in the creative zone of your horoscope. So you notice as Mercury is moving in its supposedly backward motion, it is forming a right angle to Mars. So there's definitely a mismatch here, an uncoordinated approach to what it is you're doing. That's also important because this month, the lunar eclipse, and that involves the moon here in the 11th house, rules your 5th house of creativity. And that shows us that while it transits this 11th house, that's the signal. That's the pointer. What is it that's going to fulfill you? The 11th house is fulfillment. Moon is creativity. Mercury is showing that you are in mental conflict with Mars, which is the finance planet. So there's two paths you can go by. And I think this month is critical in terms of determining which way you're going to go. One is, show me the money. The other is, maybe I can make money on that, but this is where my heart is. So I think that's the lesson this month. You'll notice here Mercury goes stationary on the 12th. And look, it's just at the moment where the moon makes contact with Mars in the 2nd house, squaring the now ready to move forward Mercury. And so I think what you're going to find here is that whatever indecision you've had, whatever's been troubling you in terms of that, and here it's probably big trouble because you've got these three planets, Jupiter, Pluto and Saturn, also up here, looking directly at this 5th house of creativity. Now, Sun is not a particularly friendly planet to you, ruling the 6th house of Leo, but it still is the natural ruler of the 5th house. So I think this month does bring up all of those thoughts of, what was it in the past that made me happy in what I did? What was it when I was young that didn't involve making money but still gave me great satisfaction? Here the moon and Venus have directional strength around the 17th. Look at this, beautifully activating this area of happiness, integrity, balance. You're still in two minds because this is nonetheless the sign of Gemini. But my bet is that when the moon transits over this lower part of the horoscope, here it is making contact leading up to the 19th of July. You'll find that there is an important development for you in terms of finding your path. Note also that Mercury rules the 7th house of relationships. So often this is not clear cut. Look at this powerful opposition to these retrograde planets and the new moon taking place on the 21st there. Straight after that, moving into your 6th house of workplace activities, health-related issues, then this Sun, ruler of the 6th house, also makes its way into there right on the 22nd. Boom, there it is. And so I think there's a shift. Mercury's left alone here in its forward direction, but the Sun now starts a 1-month transition through this 6th house of health work. Now, it could be that the fact that you haven't been really living up to your spiritual ideals, your spiritual desire, the resonance of your spiritual self with what you do, that causes imbalance. The imbalance and the diseases we have is generated from that first point within us, which is how we feel about what we do, which is how we feel about the people we get into relationships with, and most importantly, how we feel about ourselves. But I guess all of that is intertwined. So this month, as I've said, I wrote it down here. I'll get my glasses on to read it. I'm going to reiterate this for you Pisces. It's very, very important. The key to success this month is committing to what you love. And I think that's, it can't be said clearer than that. When the moon transits up here on the 29th, 30th, 31st, you again have an opportunity to connect this fifth house of creativity with this career sector. And then it may not happen because it stops there. You're going to carry that energy in the first few days of August, which we'll get to next month, into socializing and fulfilling some of these dreams. So I would encourage you, you notice here that Mars, which is normally a much slower moving planet than Mercury, somehow seems to be maintaining this right angle. So you're not easily escaping it. The reason for that is when a planet moves into its retrograde motion, it takes a while for it to pick up steam. So it's not quite able to get out of the grip of this Martian materialistic planet. Note also Mars is ruling your belief systems. So there might be something tied in with that. Belief systems aren't just religious or philosophical belief systems. They are paradigm platforms, I guess, the way you've done things in the past. They become habitual. The way you've, dealt in your relationships, the way you've worked. It becomes almost robotic. So I think this month is definitely about breaking through all of this and finding that sweet spot in yourself that makes you say, yeah, I feel good about this. Let's talk more next month. I will be back. Hope you'll join me. In the meantime, don't forget to look at more on Your Life Pisces, the monthly horoscopes. Weekly horoscopes I'm just about to do as well. So it's a double whammy at the end of the month. You can get both and get a little bit more background on what's happening to you in this month, which is based primarily on this creative element of yourself. Drop me a line, subscribe, and I'll see you here same time next month. Bye-bye.